Feebas is Hoenn's poor attempt at the Magikarp to Gyarados arc. We're rating them all, and I don't think we need to waste any time on its battle prowess. This is one of the worst Pokemon of all time in 4 out of the 6 stats, and it also has effectively 0 moves. That's 0 stars in battle prowess. Though availability is oddly the most interesting part of this one. If you look at just purely when you can get it, which is pretty much mid-game everywhere but Alola, it would average out to 3 stars. However, as I'm sure most of you know, it's not that simple with Feebas. In both Hoenn and Sinnoh, you can only catch it on a few specific random tiles that also change every day. I did a poll for this issue and the majority of you voted for this thing to get a 1-star availability total, but that's a bit much. And a lot of you had the counter argument that I've never let encounter rate affect the availability before, and while yes, that is true, this, along with Munchlax, are very extreme examples that deserve a harsh penalty for being so astronomically difficult to find. I think that minus a star and a half is fair, so after the penalty to both Gens 3 and 4 specifically, it brings down the average to 2.5 stars, which isn't even as bad as some Johto Pokemon. And its concept is also just disappointingly weak. Where Magikarp had the legendary story of the carp jumping over the dragon gate and becoming a dragon, Feebas is just an ugly fish. It may be loosely based on the ugly duckling story, but Feebas isn't some shunned ugly outcast, it's just a kind of ugly fish that lives in clusters. Sadly, that's just a weak concept, 2 stars. And as for its design, I know a lot of you are ready to type your angry comments. It's supposed to be ugly, and it is. That should be 5 stars. First of all, no. And also, it isn't even that ugly. This is just an actual fish. Granted, it's a boring and plain one, but still. If they wanted it to be ugly, they didn't do much for it in that way. This monstrosity fits that bill much better. So not only does it not really fulfill its concept, but it's also just a literal boring fish. I don't see how this is good or appealing at all, and a lot of you agree, surprisingly. I'm sorry, but that's 1 star. So that gives Feebas the series low 1.375 stars overall, and I don't know if that'll ever be beat.